Okay, hi, this is Paul. This video is coming to you for the purposes of covering Revelation chapter 2, verses 1 through 7, the Church of Ephesus. When I use this document camera here, I wrote all these out with a dry erase marker. I didn't realize how big this was going to be. So what I'm going to do, just to aid you in taking some notes, these are the precepts for each of the verses. So for Revelation 2:1, or chapter 2 and verse 1, you want to go to Revelation 1 and 16, then 20, verse 20, then verse 13, then Acts 19:1. In order to understand that particular verse, for Revelation chapter 2, verse 2, I have the precepts. What are precepts? Those are the additional validating verses or commandments that are found in the Bible to support or back up that particular verse, or to create create meaning for that particular verse. Okay? So for Revelation chapter 2, verse 2, Psalms 1:6, 1 John 4:1 through 2, 2 Corinthians 11:13, 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 through 2, 1 John chapter 2, verses 22, Revelation 2, verses 9, 13, and 19. And let's see if I can get these all in there so you can see them. I think you can probably see them all right there. So I'll leave it right there just for a second in case you do want to take a screenshot of that so you can do your own studying. And then at the end it says Ephesus time period AD 31 to AD 100. Okay? Alrighty. So let's go ahead and begin the study. And simply, who am I? Am I a preacher? Am I a pastor? Am I a Bible teacher? No, I'm just a Bible academic, I guess you'd call it, or a Bible trainee, or somebody who loves the Bible and loves to learn about it, and I'm just sharing what I learn as I go along. Okay? That's the whole purpose for this here. Okay. So let's start with chapter 2 and read it. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, These things said he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. Okay. So, as you recall, for the precepts for verse 1, you got to go to Revelation chapter 1:16, which is right next to it. And if you go here, you can see, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength, spiritual strength, right? So we can see that. Now, if we go to verse 20. You can see it down here. Let's see if we can get that over here. The mystery of the 7 stars were solace in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. So it says it right there, defines it, right? So there's no mystery to it. And the 7 candlesticks are the 7 churches. I will say, though, that normally the word angel means messenger. Okay? Now, in this particular case, this angel is word 32. Let's see. Oh, I goofed it up. So, in your Strong's G32. But G32, if you look it up, it means, and by implication, in this case, the pastor, the church leader, that's what they mean by the angel of that church. Okay? Now, if we notice on verse 1, it starts out speaking directly to that particular pastor or messenger of the church, onto the angel, right? And then it informs who Jesus is. He's the one that holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. You could probably say, to the pastor of the church of Ephesus, right? Said he that holdeth the 7 angels in his right hand, and who walks amongst the seven churches. Okay? Let's go to 2. Excuse me. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou cannot bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. So that's verse 2. Now, on my Bible, it gives you 1 Thessalonians 1:3. I didn't write that down, but we can go there really quick. 1 Thessalonians 1:3. I have these little tabs that help me out, but sometimes 1 Thessalonians 1:3. So 1 Thessalonians 1:3. Remembering without ceasing your work of faith and labor of love and patience of hope in our Lord Jesus Christ in the sight of God, our Father. Okay, so let's look at the precepts that we have for verse 2 of chapter 2. We have to go to Psalms 1:6, right? So we're talking about works, labor, patience. So let's go to Psalms 1:6. And if you go to Psalms 1:6, for the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly should perish. Why does it say that? Because here it says, I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience. So basically, for the Lord knows the way of the righteous, which way they're going, okay? Now we're going to go to 1 John 4:1-2. This is again for verse 2. 1 John 4:1-2. 1 John 4:1-2. 1 John 4:1-2, right here. That's right after 2 Peter and before Jude. 1 John 4:1-2. So, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits. So basically, they were trying the spirit, and they found some to be liars, right? Whether they're good, whether they're of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And there's a reference here to Jeremiah 14:14, because just about everything in the New Testament connects back to the Old Testament. And Jeremiah is one of my favorite books. Let's go to Jeremiah 14:14 really quick and see what it says there. And it does say, Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. So you notice that nowadays there's a lot of people, God spoke to me, this is on a daily basis. And if you look in the Bible, and you look at the prophets, Daniel and Isaiah, it takes a long time before sometimes years before God will actually come to them and the Word of God will come to them. But somehow today, everybody on the internet is talking to God on a daily basis, and God is giving them messages just to them. But we'll keep that in mind, okay? So where did we go? We went to 1 John 4:1-2. 1:2, right? So, and we say what? Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. So if they're not saying that, every spirit, that they have to be able to recognize that Jesus came in the flesh, right? So 4:1-2. So we read that, and we went to Jeremiah 14:14. Now, that was for verse 2 of chapter 2 of Revelation. Okay? Now, let's go back, and we're going to go to 2 Corinthians 11:13. 2 Corinthians 11:13. Let's see what it says there. So that's, if you go to 2 Corinthians 11:13. We're at 12. We're going to go 10, 11, and 13. Let's see if you can see it. Let's bring that down a little bit. Yep, hopefully you'll see it. Okay. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So you got to try all spirits, because you just never know. So I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou cannot bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they're apostles. So that kind of makes sense, right? That was 2 Corinthians 11:13. Directly relates to that. Now let's go to 2 Peter 2:1-2. 2 Peter 2:1-2. 2:1-2. Here we are. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there should be false teachers among you. That applies even today. You privately should bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them. No, they privately should bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them. So this is the King James. And for me, somebody might say, well, those are ancient words. I would just simply take the time to look in the dictionary for that particular word. And you can find really quick, it doesn't take that long to find out what that word means. And one suggestion I would give you, besides downloading a Strong's app, is to get the app called Noah Webster 1828, and you simply will do that search and you'll find that. Okay? So let's see, we're back in 2 Peter 2:1-2. So they're bringing heresies, denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. My Bible says 1 Corinthians 6:20 will give you some additional information. And many should follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth should be evil spoken of. And many should follow their ways, their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth should be evil spoken of. So now we're going to go 1 John 2:22. 1 John 2:22. And who is a liar but he that denieth Jesus Christ? So they have to basically say, if they deny Jesus Christ, automatically they're Antichrist. He is Antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. Okay? Now let's go back to Revelation 2 and verse 2. And we have the next precepts, which is Revelation 2:9, 13, and 19. So Revelation 2:9, so if we look here, we go to 9. I know thy works, and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? Let's go to Revelation 2:13. I know thy works. So basically, it wants you to recognize that the structure is starting that same way. I know their works. So for each of the churches is saying that. Let's go to 19, same thing, okay? All right, that was Revelation 2:2. Now I want you to take note that what I would do when I study is I'm going to go back to those verses, and then I will research each of those words. Eventually, you will know those words, and that's something that I'm willing to do, to have a Bible that is accurate and has been in our hands for more than 400 years without a change. Now, some people say the King James has had some changes, but mostly they were just spelling. The word did not change. Okay? So let's go to Revelation 2, 3, 4. So verses 3 and 4. And has borne and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I have something against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. First love is going to be your first and most important commandment, to love thy God with all thy heart. All thy heart. Excuse me, my asthma's kicking in. Let's go to Galatians 6, 9, 10. Galatians 6, 9, 10. That's the first precept for that one. So Galatians 6, 9, 10. And if we go to 6, 9, 10. and ye masters. So the word ye, I believe it's you all, and you all masters, do the same things unto them, forbearing, or like saying, and you all teachers, do the same thing unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also in heaven neither is there respective persons with him. So when I first saw that, he doesn't respect people. What that means is has no bias of persons. So no one is going to be more special than someone else. So basically, there's no bias. So keep in mind, don't you be biased and disrespectful to other people, because Jesus doesn't have that. That's what it's saying basically right there. Okay, that's what it means by he's neither a respecter of persons. Okay, so that was Galatians 6:9-10. Here's 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. Oops, you can't see it. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Okay? So now we're going to go to Hebrews. This is again for verse 3 and 4 of chapter 2 of Revelation. Hebrews 12:3-5. Hebrews 12:3-5. So I'm going to go 12:3-5. I'm a visual person. I rather see the Bible for myself in a lesson than some fancy PowerPoint or graphic or something, unless the graphic is going to be highly informing. Okay, so we're going to Hebrews 12:3-5. So chapter 12, verses 3 and 5. For considering him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. So that's 3 and 5. And ye, that means you all, have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despite not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. So basically what that means, here, I'll read it over here again, and nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. So basically, it's just like if your father loves you, he's going to punish you because he wants to correct you and keep you on the right path. Same way, if the Lord or God rebukes you, it's because he loves you. Okay? So don't despise that. For look at here where it says that 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. That means he basically will punish and scourge every son whom he receiveth. So if he considers you a son and you do something wrong, some kind of consequence should be expected right away, and you'll know. Oh man, and that has happened to me. I don't know about you guys, but you will find that out in your walk, that when you do something wrong, somehow you immediately get a consequence in some weird way, some mysterious way, and you know that, oh man, I did something wrong, and God just teaching me a quick little lesson here. And a lot of times as we punish ourselves, he allows us to punish ourselves, and that's it. Okay, so we were in Hebrews 12:3-5. Now we have to go to Mark 12:30. Mark 12:30. I hardly go to Mark. I usually go a lot to Matthew. But let's see here. Mark 12:3-5. If this is getting too long, I might make it into another video here. 12:3-5. Maybe I'll do another 5 minutes or so. 12:3-5. And I'll retitle it to verses 3 and 4. So Mark 12:3-5. So here we are. And they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty. Who did he catch? A certain man planted a vineyard and set a hedge about it and digged a place for the wine fat and built a tower and let it out to the husbandmen and went into far country. And at the season he sent the husband a servant that he might receive from the husbandman the fruit of the vineyard, and they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty. Okay, so this is the story where basically the prophets are being killed, right? And again, he sent unto them another servant, and at him they cast stones and wounded him in the head and sent him away shamefully handled. Okay, and so on and so on. So this one I said Mark 12:30. Oh, I was supposed to be at 12:30. I got distracted. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. Okay, so that's the first love right there. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. This is the first commandment and the 12 commandments, or the 10 commandments, and Exodus 20, I think it is. Might not be the first mention, but Jesus says that's the answering a question. That's the most important one, right? Okay, so if we go to Revelation, I hear lightning coming in here. 2, right? Three, I know their works, their patience, right? And thou hast them and are not, and hast borne and hast paid. Nevertheless, I have something against you, because thou hast left thy first love. That's it, right there. So now let's go to 1 John 4:19, and then we're going to close it up. I hope to get better at presenting or sharing my studies. And I know I've never considered myself a good presenter. I think I can be a good teacher, but I'm not a good presenter. But I am going to try to polish it up, because my hopes are that somebody can benefit from it. Look at those precepts. I recommend that you get yourself a Noah Webster dictionary. This is my app right here, of 1828. And then basically a lot of these hard words that are found in the King James, you can put in there and you can find them right away. So 1 John 4:19. 1 John chapter 4:19. And it says, we love him because he first loved us. Okay. So I'm going to cut the video short, and then the next video is going to be Revelation chapter 2, verses 5 through 7. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you are able to gain something from it.